Hey everyone, it's Monday evening. How is everyone? Hi, I'm Jody from Alabama, and in case you don't know me, I am a fibromyalgia and lupus survivor, warrior, whatever. And I am talking to others about the things that I have learned. And hey Bruce, how are you? Thank you for joining me tonight. Hey Alex, how is everyone this evening? We managed, we survived Monday. So I just wanted to talk to everybody tonight. Tonight I've got something kind of cool to talk about. Have you ever been on a coffee journey, of different coffees around the world? Tonight I was going to talk about some different coffees that I learned about around the world, and I thought that was pretty cool. So not everybody knows a lot about the coffee that they drink or where it come from, but this was pretty interesting to me. The first coffee was invented in 1946. Not the coffee that we drink, but the Vietnamese coffee. And it's really kind of different. They take a egg yolk and they mix it with sweetened condensed milk, and then they whip it up really, really good, and then they take coffee and pour it over that. Hey Robert, thank you for joining us. And it makes a really thick cup of coffee. So I thought it sounded kind of cool. So if we ever want to try Vietnamese coffee, that's how you do it. An Australian coffee is called flat white. Now, of course, each country has lots of different coffees, just like we do, but the original coffees that each one had to their country is what we're just going to discuss tonight. And it's where you take steamed milk and you pour it over a shot of espresso, and it is similar to a latte, only it's really tiny. And so, I don't know, some of these were really kind of cool, and I thought they might be interesting one night, maybe to try them. So I think some of these would be fun to try. We have the boys and I have an international month, or a night where monthly we do an international thing where we try different international foods. So I thought maybe we should try some international coffees. So that would be kind of cool. South India has Kapai. It is a filtered coffee, and it is made by mixing hot coffee with frothed milk. And then you take the frothed milk and the boiled milk, and you take them, and it's called a Dora tumbler, and I don't mean to butcher the language, but you pour it in, you pour it from one to the other, and you keep pouring them back and forth until they're thoroughly mixed. So I thought that was really cool, really interesting. It also helps to cool it down because one's boiled, and the hot coffee is also really hot, so it helps to cool it down so it's drinkable by the time it's served at your table. So it's really kind of interesting. Ethiopia is considered the birthplace of the coffee plant. Of course, many of us know this. Households often host coffee ceremonies, and they do this up to 3 times a day. That would be a lot of coffee for me. I don't even drink 1 cup anymore, so that would be a lot of coffee. They take raw coffee beans, they roast it in a pan, then they take the roasted coffee beans and they grind them, and they do it in called a jabina, okay, or jabera. Okay, excuse me, a jabera, and it's spelled jabina, but it's called jabera. Excuse me. Then they take those and they pour the coffee into a small handless ceramic cup. And I thought it was really interesting that most of these actually gave the type of cup that they use, because they said that the specific cup enhances the flavor. I don't know. I mean, I've always just used a coffee cup, but some of these use ceramic, some use glass, and some use clay, because they say that each one enhances the different quality, the different flavors of the coffee. Note to self, did not know that. In the Middle East, there is an Arabic coffee, and I can't even begin to butcher that name. I'm sorry. I just can't. I don't know how to pronounce the name, so I'm just saying Arabic coffee. And it includes spices like cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, and saffron. I know saffron's kind of earthy, so that would be kind of good. And it is prepared and served in a traditional coffee pot called a dala. And then there is traditional Turkish coffee, and it's brewed in a pan. And this was so cool because they take the pan and they fill it up with hot sand. And in the center of this hot sand, they put a little copper little bowl, and they put their coffee in it. And the little coffee bowl is called a jala. And it begins to boil and foam at the top, and then they can adjust the heat by digging the coffee pot down deeper or pulling it up higher, which was really interesting to me because I thought that was really kind of cool. Now, this one was kind of funny. The Greek frappe was said to have been invented by mistake by a Nescafe representative, and they couldn't find any hot water. So they added cold water to instant coffee and shook it up. And that's how the Greek cafe or the Greek frappe was invented. Isn't that kind of cool? So, and now they make it often, and it's found all over the country. And but they now use it making hot water, adding ice, instant coffee, water, and sugar. And now you can find it anywhere. Okay, so espresso was originated in Italy, and it's a classic choice, and they make it any time of day, all the time. So it's, that's probably because they were raised on it, so it doesn't affect them like it would me. Espresso in the late evening would keep me up all night. Like it would keep me up. I wouldn't be able to sleep. But they use pressure to force a small amount of boiling water or steam out through the finely ground coffee beans, which of course now we know that machine is now called an espresso machine, but it was originated in Italy. And this one was kind of interesting. Like, I did not know some of this stuff. Like other customs are so cool. Okay, if you're going to Sweden or Finland and you want to find out about drinking some of their classic coffee, you try a kafos, or a coffee cheese. You take hot coffee and you pour it over finished cheese curds. I know, that's what I thought. The curds, though, soak up the coffee like bread. And then it becomes almost like a French toast. I know, kind of cool, right? I did not know any of this stuff. Okay, and of course, a lot of people know Irish coffee because, Irish coffee, a lot of us have tried it before. But it's said to have been invented in the winter of 1943, and it was to warm up the guests at the airport restaurant near Limerick. Okay? It said that the cocktail is made out of hot coffee. Of course, you got to have your Irish whiskey in there and sugar, and then top it with some cream. And oh my goodness, is it good? Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so the coffee bomb, is a staple espresso drink in Spain. See, some of these I just had no idea. Like coffees around the world. So, and it is best served in a glass cup. And because it allows you to see the layers of condensed milk, and you put the condensed milk in first, and then you add espresso to the top of that, and there's a lot of condensed milk, and then a lot of espresso, and then a little tiny layer of cream to the top of that, and then they mix it. But it says it's best if served in a glass cup because that's how it enhances the flavor. And then the Cafe Cubano. It's served all hours of the day in Cuba. So we even have Cuba here. And it's a strong drink, and it's made with espresso and demerara sugar. And I don't know if I pronounced the type of sugar right. So please forgive me if you're from Cuba and I have just demolished that word. I apologize profusely, but it says it creates a creamy foam, and then you take it and you oh, for heaven's sakes, you take the foam, like the top, a little bit, a few drops, and you make that foam and you pour it on top. So it makes it like almost like an espresso. To me, is kind of what it sounded like. So I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, and here's another one. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the name right at all, but it's called Cafe de Olla, and it's a traditional Mexican specialty coffee, and it is made with ground coffee, cinnamon, and of course unrefined cane sugar. And you serve it in a clay mug, and once you get it in the clay mug, you let it absorb the flavor a little bit and then drink it. And it says that the clay mug again absorbs the flavor and adds to the flavor of the coffee. So I didn't know, because like I always drink mine in just a coffee cup, so you never know. And Brazil has a small cup of filtered coffee, and it's just served black with a lot of sugar. And I thought that was kind of cool too. And then they will take it and they will pour it over the cream. So like they take the black coffee with the sugar, and then they take their cup, and the cup has like a thick layer of cream in the bottom of it, and they pour it over it. And then they drink it like they use just like a little coffee stirrer and barely stir it. So I don't know, that was kind of cool. So this is my question for you. If you watch this, and if you're going to share this, please do. But also, what kind of coffee do you drink, and how do you make your coffee? What are the ways that you make your coffee? And I'll tell you mine. If I do drink coffee, like in the mornings, I just put like 2 very light, barely teaspoons of sugar, and just a little cream, just enough to give it not such a bitter taste, because I don't like the bitter taste. And I like Starbucks Pike's Blend. That's my favorite. So if you get a chance, tell me what your favorite cups of coffee are and how do you like it. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.